So, when I talk about business intelligence project, I mean not only dashboard design, and of course the basic and most important point, the data, building data warehouse, integrating sales, financial data, and it's in interim product, but this product is not for business users, it's for data analysts, and sometimes data engineers, data scientists think that they have successfully completed their work when they just build this number of data sets, big data. But the next step is business intelligence system platform, when our product becomes visual. So we release some dashboards. And for example, 10 years ago, usually our users were data analysts or advanced business users, managers. But nowadays, our consumers are really executives, so C-level, chief marketing, chief financial officers. And what's the problem? When so usually when we sign a contract, when we assign a technical requirements, we get approved from data analysts or advanced business users. But when we finish our project and make our release, these persons come and say that they have another expectations, and we need to redesign because chief executive said change this diagram, add another indicator, and we start this endless process of improvements, and those improvements which are usually not paid, and that's a problem. And that's a problem for us as a company, and that's a huge problem for those who work in-house inside corporations. And so what we produce this visual product, and we pay so a lot of we pay a lot of attention, because our users are stakeholders, C-level managers. That's why we build beautiful, pixel perfect dashboards. And time by time, I hear the opinion of advanced analysts, data scientists, that it's just a million pictures, and we need just to provide this data set and let them do anything they want. But I saw a lot of examples of this result when business user designs the dashboards by his own, and really you came through this stage at your first home task, because most of you reports looked the same way, and most of them are nonsense. And we use this agile Kanban, this life cycle, when we have three key stages, and stage number 0 with preliminary requirements, and final endless stage of technical support. And what's important, when we start before the project, we have initial suggestions about indicators, data sources, visuals, and even number of pages, because one customer may it seems that it's a single page dashboard, but some of them think that one single dashboard includes 10 pages, 10 tabs. Really, it's sometimes it's really 10 times more work to build this single dashboard. And first stage, when we develop it by layout, by our design, without pixel perfect, just to touch it. Second stage, when we get business feedback and upgrade, get final accept for controls, aggregations, default value. Finally, we polish our visuals. We work with text, colors, and other changes. We move to the technical support. So what I mean, the first iteration, I start with such sketches, and this is an example of such a brief sketch drawn for 15 minutes. But when I come to my customer, I redesign this sketch. I add colors, I add titles, so colorful visuals, buttons, and really that's enough to discuss with our customer what do they expect from these dashboards. How will this table switch? How will this conditional formatting work? And we start our work, and the result of first iteration is this interactive prototype. Usually we design it good enough, but it's not the final design, and it's important to give to provide to the customer this ability to touch the dashboard, touch the product, and explain especially this cross filtration, that you don't need to put a lot of filter boxes, because you can tap the this sector of this tree map, this bar chart, and it works as a filter. But sometimes we have exceptions. For example, this was a project for a university, and this dashboard tells us the result of enrollment company. So like it looks like recruiting funnel, but for the university entrance. And people, and I show them that you may press this sector. I press this sector with bachelor and all the dashboard filters. But customer explains to me that he doesn't compare bachelors and masters, and he doesn't compare offline and online student, but he compare universities, faculties, specialties inside this segment. And also he asked to add some indicators, some variations of calculations. And finally, we redesigned this dashboard, and we added this classic filter buttons, because we don't visualize this difference between masters and bachelors and online and offline. And we applied this visual for funnel. It's not exactly final, because in the end of this process we have more enrollments than the previous stages. But in general, it's 23%. of initial offers. And so we reduced number of indicators which we had as the first draft, and we moved them into visual, but we moved these visuals, these tree maps, these bar charts to the filter panel, because we need them just like buttons, but not as visuals. And it's second iteration when we got final approval for business logic. And after that, we go to the final iteration and work with design with user interface. And usually our customers expect that we will surprise them with wonderful design, with something magic. And when they look at this classic layout, light background, black fonts, blue charts, they say that they expected for something more, as they want to use the dashboard as a high-tech tool. They want to use contrast theme, deep black backgrounds, some images. And when we and at this stage, we start from different options. We don't wait when a customer says, surprise me. We provide classic, we provide bright, high-tech contrast theme, and we provide like a compromise, something between dark and white, but not so contrast. And really, 90% of customers choose this option because really it's easier to use day by day, not to just be wondered, but for look at a glance and read the information. But during this process, to satisfy our customer and to demonstrate that we are staring to satisfy him, we provide some options. And of course, at this stage, customers, that's another one example of this compromise when we use this light layouts for each visual. They are a bit transparent, and we use this image of carrier of this plant, but this background image doesn't conflict with our bars, with our labels, text, numbers, and it's an example of compromise. And this stage, customers sometimes ask to add some pop-ups, new pages, and at this moment I say, stop. Let's start using this version because we completed all the requirements and all the improvements we will make during its exploitation. And of course, they should be extra paid. But my key argument to this customer is not about my money, but about his exploitation. So let's start using. Let's gain the feedback from all the users, from all the departments, not from our focus group of 2 or 5 persons. That's how we finish our third stage and go to the technical support. Yes, Daria. Um, we are not on analysts only, we are designers too. And really, business intelligence analysts must be information designer. And my learning is about not about mm, design images. I will talk to you about structure, about logic, logic inside visualization, but not about some creativity. That's our approach. And what's important, especially when we are at the stage number 2, when we discuss business logic and customer comes and says, change the color theme, change text, change its style, adapt this data to our brand book. I say, stop, let's approve all the business logic, and only after that we will discuss design. Otherwise, it will be endless process from design to logic, and it's very, very important to finish this process and get this approved from the customer. So, what's the benefits of this approach for you? In general, it saves labor costs, but not always, because really sometimes we need to redesign this dashboard for 5 times. But all these labor costs are distributed between these iterations, and we save our nerves, because we don't expect for quick wins. Yeah, we understand that we need to come through these stages, and our customer understands it, and it makes our collaboration more productive, more efficient. And from my position of contractor, it provides the payments for these extra hours when we achieve this limit of 3 iterations. But I understand that when you work inside the company, you can't say stop, because it's your day-by-day routine. But I know successful examples of my students who really achieved this balance and explained to their bosses arguments that let's start using and let's stop and this pollution of this data. So that's our agile approach, and let's use it in our internship.